Hi, gang. Bob Boving here to bring you The Mystery Project and another new episode of Clean Sweep. Just as Ben and Bonnie appear to be patching things up, a snake pit of vicious gossip, innuendo, and rumor opens up around the Marsdens. There's a definite motive here, maybe several. The play is called An Embarrassment. Deborah Allen and Richard Donat star as Bonnie and Ben Marsden.
You'll go on it without me.
Why, hello, Bonnie.
Miss Fiona. I hadn't expected to see you here. Kind of loud for you, isn't it?
I just came for the 4-H judging. We haven't been introduced. My name is Fiona Chisholm, and you are?
Melissa Marsden.
My. Such a bright penny. And so pretty, too.
Miss Chisholm taught me geography and music, back when they still had music classes. And 20 years later, Darcy was in her class, too.
You're a teacher?
Not anymore. You're safe. Would you like a loonie for an ice cream?
What do I have to do for it?
Just promise to eat it all up.
Okay.
Melissa?
Thank you.
You must be very proud of her.
Sometimes.
You know, my only regret about remaining a spinster is I'll never have a granddaughter to spoil.
Granddaughter? Oh, no. I know I'm old enough to be Melissa's grandmother, but she's my daughter.
In this day and age, Bonnie, there's really no need to keep up that sort of fiction.
What sort of fiction?
Well, of course, I didn't know you well back when Melissa was born. Just one of hundreds of ex-pupils I remembered fondly. But people who did know you well say in the months before Melissa was born, you didn't show at all.
They didn't see me at all. Well, I had 3 months maternity leave, mostly unpaid. You try having a baby when you're 40 years old and supposedly you've had your tubes tied for 10 years.
You know, I'm in no position to cast stones at anybody, Bonnie. You don't have to pretend to me.
Pretend?
I don't like unsubstantiated gossip. And, of course, I had no idea of exactly how old Melissa was. But, of course, Muriel knew to the minute. So I looked back in my yearbooks, and that was the year Darcy was a month late starting school.
She had mononucleosis. The house was like a damned hospital ward with her sleeping all day and me wishing I could. Darcy? Darcy was 14 years old.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. Not in this day and age. It happens in the best of families.
Well, it didn't happen in mine.
Well, if it was a lie from me, it was a lie to me.
From who?
Oh, several people. Did you eat it all?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all except the bit on your face. I've got a hanky. Well, I have to get to the coffee tent. Muriel will be waiting for me. I hope you two enjoy your fare.
Yeah, you too.
What's wrong, Mommy?
Oh, nothing, honey.
Sure.
It wouldn't bother me if it was the truth.
Would have bothered the hell out of you 7 years ago.
But this is just ridiculous. And Fiona said several people told her. Well, who'd go starting a stupid rumor like that?
Oh, there's a lot of people around here got nothing to do but sit around coffee shops and taverns, working their mouth and their imagination at the same time. One thing's for sure. If you start phoning up everyone you know and yelling Melissa ain't Darcy's daughter, they'll be damn certain she is.
Hello?
Bonnie's cleaning service?
Yes?
Bonnie, it's Lorraine Abbott. You remember Frank's wife?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, perhaps you haven't heard, but Frank has a new position as constituency office manager for Membertou County's MP.
Oh?
Well, Frank had done all he could in his position as Tri-County finance officer, so it was time to move on.
Just like when he was manager of the credit union.
Much the same. Well, in his new position, he has a lot of entertaining to do, and my folk art gallery is keeping me over busy. So I wondered if you'd be able to spruce up the house several times in the next month or so?
I'll check my schedule and get back to you. Okay?
By tomorrow afternoon at the latest. You've got my number.
Yep. Thanks for calling. Bye now.
Who was that?
Lorraine Abbott.
Who?
Frank's wife.
Oh. What'd she want?
Wanted to hire me to clean their house.
What? You can't go to work for that little weasel after Frank did you out of your job at the credit union?
That was a long time ago. And I have to go to work for somebody. Half my regulars are away on holidays.
You wouldn't think you'd be Lorraine Abbott's first choice for a cleaning lady. Not after you made him look like a fool at that political meeting.
Didn't hurt his career any.
It doesn't matter. People like the Abbotts don't forget being made to look foolish. Oh, that's why Lorraine Abbott rather have you than some other cleaning lady.
Why?
So she can order you around and make you eat a little dirt.
You've eaten a little dirt from time to time so we could keep up with the bills.
Well, maybe if I ate a little more, you wouldn't have to be scrubbing other people's toilets.
You know that's not true. Ben, when Melissa's finished your TV time, could you tuck her into bed tonight?
Oh, well, sure, but you're better at getting her settled down than I am.
Sometimes. But she hasn't been sleeping very good lately. And last night I woke up thinking I heard our bedroom door open. It was Melissa sneaking a peek in and then gone back to bed.
Oh.
She's worried you might not be here in the morning.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Thanks. You will be? Here in the morning.
Of course. If you want me to be.
Only if you want to be.
Good. Look, I'm not the fastest thinker in the world, but God knows I had enough time to... I know you still think you were right about putting Charlie Warner in jail, and I still think you weren't. But I think maybe I know of a way to keep you and me from going off the rails again.
What's that?
Well, all those years you were working at the credit union and I was kicking around with people who couldn't get in the front door. Well, there's things I know about some people around here that you don't, just like there's things you know about some people that I don't. So, if you ever come across something again that looks to you like a crime, just talk to me before you go and call the Mounties, okay?
Deal.
Good. Thank you.
Probably another new customer, and I can just tell Lorraine that I'm booked up. Hello?
Your son will come out tomorrow. Just like his old man.
Damn.
What was that about?
Robbie. Some nasty little person saying she's going to spread the news about Robbie deciding maybe he's gay.
Great.
I didn't think he'd talked to many people about it yet, except us and Moyle and Darcy.
And I guess to some of his friends at community college. You never know who can keep a secret until you give him one.
No, it's not like some big secret he's ashamed of. But damn it, it should be up to him to decide when he's ready to say whether he's this way or that way.
Well, I was already half thinking that maybe this weekend I'd give Gordon McLean a call and see if he'd mind me and you dropping by for a beer.
Why?
Whatever Robbie might have to get used to, with people maybe looking at him different or treating him different, Gordy's already been through it, and then some. He can tell us what to look out for. Maybe knows ways to make it a little easier on Robbie.
If Gordon's willing to talk about it. The idiot on the phone said something else weird, too.
What?
She said just like his old man. Like you were gay, too.
What? With 4 kids? All they had to do was to ask you.
That's not funny, then. After all we've been through lately, we sure don't need this. Seems to be a lot of rumors about us Marsdens floating around lately.
At least nobody's called to say we set up Jack Burton.
So we should count our blessings? I wish it were that easy.
Oh, Bonnie, that's over. He came here to kill us, and we ended up getting him.
I know.
Only with Jack Burton, we knew what we were up against.
And here in the living room, you have to be very careful dusting.
Oh?
Well, to the untrained eye, those wooden dolls may look like something a child had made in woodworking class, but they're actually very precious and delicate objets d'art.
Uh-huh.
Well, this one alone is worth more than my Volvo, or will be once we get it authenticated. The best estimates place it somewhere in the early 18th century along the Miramichi. You can see how the carving strokes are... Well, that hardly matters to you, just so you know to be careful.
I will be.
Oh, look at the time. I have to be at the gallery for an appraisal and then a lunch appointment. I should be home before you're done. There's a pad by the kitchen phone to take messages. Don't forget to scrub out the bidet.
Before or after I throw up? Hello?
Is Mrs. Lorraine Abbott there, please?
Sorry, she won't be back till later this afternoon.
I suppose she had other business after lunch.
But I could take a message.
Please, could you tell Mrs. Abbott that Anthony of Anthony's Auberge called? After her lunch today, we found a scarf under her table. I believe it was dropped by Mrs. Linda Boutelier.
Linda Boutelier?
That's what I said.
Oh, I guess there's a lot of Linda Bouteliers around.
I believe this one hails from somewhere around Pisiquid Village. You will see that Mrs. Abbott gets the message.
Certainly.
Very good, then. Goodbye now.
Linda Boutelier. So I just told Lorraine the restaurant called about a scarf. Left out the business about Linda Boutelier.
Why?
Well, there's something kind of funny about it. Anthony's Auberge isn't exactly the kind of place you'd expect Linda Boutelier to go for lunch.
Isn't that snooty place with the phony gables down in Slocum Harbor?
The same town Lorraine Abbott has her folk art gallery.
Well, maybe Linda Boutelier's taken up doll painting or something, and Lorraine took her to lunch to talk about business.
Maybe. But it's a funny coincidence. Lorraine Abbott wants to rub my nose in her dirt because I made her husband look foolish.
You only told the truth. That Frank Abbott's the kind of swell fella who'd give you the shirt off of your back.
And Linda Boutelier's been kind of standoffish with me ever since I proved it was her best friend Moira O'Neill who shot Ray Fletcher.
You don't think she wanted Moira to get away with it?
No. She didn't suspect Moira any more than anybody else did. But maybe Linda didn't much like it. That the way her friend got caught was I wormed a bit of their old history out of her without telling her why I was curious.
Oh, hell. People get over things.
Not around here, they don't. If I'd known you had a game to watch, we wouldn't have barged in on you.
Doesn't look like much of a game. Just an excuse to put my feet up. Visitors are an even better excuse. So, you figured you'd talk to the expert on being gay in rural Nova Scotia.
Well, you see, Gordon...
You don't have to be so formal, Bonnie. Used to be Gordy when we was playing junior hockey. Sharpest elbows in Membertou County.
Well, we've gotten a bit softer since then. Anyway, Bonnie, you were saying?
Well, you see, Gordon, Robbie's not sure that he's actually gay. He's more bi. I mean, he says he's still attracted to girls, some girls, but he says he's also sort of attracted to some guys, I guess.
You guess? Sounds pretty confused.
I guess I am pretty confused. I guess so is he.
Well, anybody who tells you that they weren't confused about most things when they were 20 is a damn liar. Remember?
That's a long way back. But it seems to me sex was one of the only things I wasn't confused about.
Lucky for you.
Lucky for me.
Robbie's willing to be honest about what he is, who he is, but when he's not sure himself yet.
Well, ready or not, it's out there already. Somebody told me yesterday they've heard from somebody who heard from somebody that Ben Marsden's youngest son is queer, too.
What do you mean, queer, too?
Oh, you know, like me. You know, Robbie's got to be careful who he talks to. if he's not sure what he wants spread around.
Last time I talked to him on the phone, he said he was being careful. At least until he gets less confused. Gordon. Was it tough for you when you were Robbie's age living around here?
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Wouldn't have been as tough as it was if I wasn't so goddamn stubborn, if I'd stayed politely in the closet. But things aren't nearly as bad now as they were 20 years ago. Hell, 25 now. I guess Robbie will still get a few funny looks and an occasional idiot yelling names from a passing car. But it's not like it was. There's still gay bashing, though. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to be hanging around the Citadel in Halifax after dark.
I don't think he's planning to.
Well, good. I guess you've never had much problem with gay bashers, Gordy. You could handle yourself pretty good.
On the ice, maybe. But it's a different thing when 5 or 6 guys corner you in a parking lot. Why did you say, Ben? When I said queer, too, you said, what do you mean?
Oh, just some silly crank call we got a couple of days ago about Robbie.
Some screwy idiot singing, "Your son will come out tomorrow." And then said, just like his old man. Hung up.
When I was about Robbie's age, there was one night after a league fundraiser dance. I shouldn't have been gone, but like I said, I was damn stubborn. And I definitely shouldn't have stayed that late. I went out to get into my car, and 2 other cars tore up and snugged in tight, one against the front bumper and one in the back. 3 or 4 drunk guys got out of each car, a couple from around here, and the rest I didn't know. They're calling me names, kicking their boots against my car. Steel toes.
Jesus.
Well, I was some scared.
Well, who wouldn't be?
And I said one of those stupid things you say when you're scared. I'm alone now. I got a lot of friends around here, and they'll come looking for you. And one of them laughed and said, "Friends, isn't that what you faggots call your fancy boys?" And I said, "Friends like Big Ben Marsden." Well, as soon as I said Big Ben Marsden, they had second thoughts. Called me a few more names, got back into the cars, and drove away. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben, but
What's to be sorry for? I'm just glad it worked. First good thing I ever heard come out of that. I used to have a bit of a bad reputation.
Gordon, you said a couple of the guys in those cars were guys you knew from around here.
Yeah, Todd, what's his name? Swinimer. And Gary Bootlear.
Linda Bootlier's husband.
Well, not then, but yeah.
Oh, hell, that was 20 years ago.
25. But you can't forget something like that.
Mom, can I take Claude for a run in the woods?
Just a short one, honey. Supper will be ready in half an hour.
Okay.
Almost supper time. Must be the telemarketers. Hello?
Ben Marsden?
Yeah? What was this?
You don't know me. I'm just a thirsty old lady. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, I heard from somebody who heard from somebody that Ben Marsden's the best place to buy a quart of moonshine.
What? Who the hell told you that?
Somebody that knows you well.
They sure as hell don't. I don't have any moonshine. If I did, I wouldn't be selling it.
My money's as good as anybody's.
Lady, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And don't you ever call me back.
Moonshine.
Yeah. That's the last kind of rumor I need spreading around.
Well, I don't think it'd get the Mounties back on your tail. Corporal Kowalczuk's been through that once already.
Yeah. But if word gets out to the guys in the hills that people think I'm selling their stuff, they'll cut me off. First commandment for homemade liquor. Keep it in the family. That was a phony put-on voice. Who the hell was that anyways?
It matters, doesn't it? People you thought you knew? And who knew you?
You thought. It's just creepy.
There's too damn many somebodies who's heard from somebody. And Lorraine Abbott having lunch with Linda Bootlear.
It's kind of a thin thread to start building into a conspiracy.
So far. I'm back cleaning the Abbott's house tomorrow. If my lady Lorraine has to go take care of her gallery again, maybe I'll dust behind more than the objet d'art. I thought you got all the weeds out last week.
That was last week. If I'd have known you were going to be home this early, I wouldn't have left off clearing Bert Parker's woodlot to be home for Melissa.
Sorry, I didn't know the Abbott's house would just need a quick hoover through.
Oh, that's all right. Bert Parker's woodlot will still be there tomorrow.
But in between vacuuming, I had time to dust inside Lorraine Abbott's drawers.
Oh.
In her desk. One of the drawers had last month's statements from half a dozen different credit cards. All of the cards have heavy balances and only the minimum paid. Seems like Lorraine and Frank share a common approach to managing finances.
Well, I guess that's their business.
It is. But what might be our business is that the statements showed that every Tuesday for the last month, Lorraine Abbott had a bill at Anthony's Auberge for $100 and change, $110, $120, and Tuesday was the day Anthony called the Abbotts to say Linda Bootler had left her scarf there at lunch. Seems like a regular thing.
I can't see two people spending $120 on lunch, even at a snooty place like that.
One fancy bottle of wine would do it. I know of somebody who can tell me if it's still a regular thing.
Who's that?
Anthony.
Anthony's Auberge. Anthony speaking.
Yes, I wonder if you could help me. I'm supposed to meet Lorraine Abbott there for lunch tomorrow, and silly me, I forgot to write down the time.
Mrs. Abbott's reservation is for... Yes, 12:30 as usual.
Oh, thank you.
So will it be a party of 4 rather than the usual party of 3?
3? Oh, silly me, I see the appointment's for next Tuesday. I'll be speaking with Lorraine before then. Sorry to trouble you.
No trouble, madame. Good day.
He said the usual party of 3.
I guess 3 people could spend $120 on lunch, if they worked at it.
The voice on the phone with that stupid phone call about Robbie. Sounded like it could be a younger woman, maybe Robbie's age. But I don't have a clue who else would be in on this.
If there's anything to be in on.
Well, one way to find out. I'll drop in on Lorraine's luncheon tomorrow and see for myself.
Bonnie, I promised Bert I'd put in a full day tomorrow. Can't shortchange him 2 days in a row. I won't be able to go with you.
I wouldn't want you to.
Can I help you, madame?
Maybe. I'm looking for Lorraine Abbott.
I'm afraid jeans are not allowed in the dining room.
I'm not staying. I just have to deliver a message from her husband.
And Mrs. Abbott's party is in the alcove, just straight to the back of the dining room and up the steps.
Thank you.
To the thirsty old lady again.
Oh, you're sick and tired of...
No, we're not. Oh, come on, please.
I happen to know for a fact that you got moonshine in your sandwich.
That's wonderful. Isn't it, actress?
Oh, it's no big, rich little trick. Me and Maura learned way back in high school days that it isn't that hard to fool people over the phone because they don't expect somebody putting on a phony voice. There was this one time that we...
Bonnie! What are you doing here?
Well, what an embarrassment.
Pardon me?
Oh, you know they got these proper terms for things. A pride of lions, a gaggle of geese, an embarrassment of bitches.
Now you see here.
Yes.
We do not allow raised voices in Anthony's auberge.
Go polish your silverware, Anthony.
If you do not leave immediately, madame, I shall call the police and have you charged with creating a disturbance.
What do you think, Lorraine? Should Anthony call the police and get the local newspaper asking me why I kind of lost my temper with the constituency officer manager's wife?
It's all right, Anthony.
If you say so, Mrs. Abbott.
I've got no trouble figuring out, Lorraine, why you and Frank would have a grudge on me. And I've got a pretty good idea, Linda, why you'd want to spread nasty gossip about my family.
You'd know about friggin' gossip, wouldn't you? Getting Maura put in jail by making me think you and me was just sitting down for a good old gossip about old times.
Well, Moira friggin' did it, didn't she? Shot Ray Fletcher through the eye with a dum-dum .22 and left him lying on his kitchen floor for his wife and kids to find the next morning. But you, I don't even know who you are.
Sharon Baxter?
I've never even heard your name before.
Your son used me.
What?
Yeah, Robbie. He took me out 3 or 4 times.
but he always seemed kind of cold, hardly even kiss me, and he wouldn't even call me back when I phoned his dorm. I was starting to get real down on myself, low self-esteem, like that. And then one of the girls I know that goes to community college in Truro told me, Robbie Marsden's gay, or queer. He was just using you as a front.
So, now that you've found us out, Bonnie, what do you think you can do about it? Call the RCMP and have us arrested for having lunch on Tuesdays?
Yeah, I guess I'd look pretty foolish. What do you think, Lorraine? You think our local MP would like to know that the manager of his constituency office almost put the Pisiquid Village Credit Union into receivership when he was managing it?
That AGM was 6 months after Frank left.
After Frank jumped off the ship he'd chewed holes in. Anybody that ever worked there knew it was Frank's hotshot investments that brought the credit union within a hair of going under. It'd only take a copy of the minutes of that meeting mailed to Ottawa. And Linda, Gary's still with the volunteer fire department? So? Going out on calls where he has to trust the guy on the other end of the hose. Working hall rental dances where sometimes things get a bit out of hand, and Gary sure is glad he's got Ben to back him up. And you, little Miss Self-Esteem, your friend in Truro only got the story half right. Robbie is a bit attracted to men. I don't find that difficult to understand. But he's still attracted to women, too. Some women. He's just a good judge of character. That's what other people hear when you tell them he's keeping his distance from you. Have a nice day, ladies.
The play you had just heard was called An Embarrassment, written by John Abelard. In the cast, Deborah Allen was Bonnie Marsden, and Richard Donat was her husband, Ben. The others in the cast were Ashley Swain as Melissa, Ruth Owen as Fiona Chisholm, Linda Busby as Linda Boutelier, John Dart as Gordon McLean, Martha Irving as Lorraine Abbott, David McClelland as Anthony, and Lauren Nicole Abrams as Sharon Baxter. The music was composed by Scott McMillan and David McIsaac and was performed by Gordon Stovey, Jamie Gatty, and Andre Lacroix, along with the two composers. The recording engineer was Pat Martin. Sound effects, Dermot Kenny. The associate producer was Peggy Hemsworth. Casting was by John Dunsworth and Alex Duncan. Clean Sweep was produced and directed in CBC Radio's Halifax Production Center by Bill Howell, the executive producer of The Mystery Project. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments.